Yay, I finally got it to record. Hi guys, couple of things. First, I've got the drive home ready to upload from Wednesday. Last of this week's series on my first case, and I got really sick on Thursday. So that's why that didn't go up. And then I've also just got a video that I just took of my little sister Bernadette was just in a horse race, and it's her first time competing, and she did very well. And so I'll be uploading that. Um, okay, the rest of this is just going to be a rant. So if you don't like that, you are more than welcome, and in fact encouraged to go watch something else. Um, while we're sitting at the horse race, I overhear somebody saying that they had just gone to their chiropractor. They were talking. This is in context of sugar in sodas, and they said they had just gone to their chiropractor, and they had seen an interesting fact of the day posted at their chiropractor. Um, which, I mean, obviously, this isn't going to start out well if this is information coming from a pseudoscience practicer. But the fact of the day was that a small amount, I think 25 grams of sugar, um, it might have actually been even smaller than that. But a small amount of sugar was all that was needed to lower your immune system reaction 25%. Okay, so what's wrong with this statement? Okay, first, three big things that I can see. First, what scale exists for measuring and reporting immune system activity? I can't think of one. How do you measure somebody's immune system reactivity levels? Uh, you might look at the activity of T cells and helper T cells and B cells. Yeah, you can go and take those counts, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to give you a good answer. Let's assume, however, that that is what they've done. So they've come up with an objective way of measuring immune system response. Okay, so that's not even the first thing. Okay, 25%. That's awful high for anything. Anything with that kind of causality is gonna be noticed. This should not be news if it's 25% for a relatively small amount of sugar. 25% is so huge. That means that out of those people that don't eat sugar, we would see a very appreciable amount of people not getting sick. 25% is enough it that we would notice without even needing any sort of measurement. If it was 25%, this would not be written on a wall. It would be written in a child's science textbook. That 25% is an enormous amount. It's absolutely enormous. And what's more, if we're talking in percentages, let's assume that 100% is your base level, which actually it doesn't make that much sense because most alternative medicine people say they're a way to boost your immune system with vitamin C and other ridiculous things. So presumably you'd be going over 100%. Yeah. Okay. Let's assume that 100% is a baseline, which would be me right now, whether I'm sick or not. My immune system is still 100%. If it was weakened, perhaps by me taking steroids, let's say that would weaken my immune system. If it was strengthened by me taking, something else. Okay, so let's say 100 is the baseline. So 25% takes you down to 75%. Presumably 0% is dead. Okay, as in like you can't fight off the smallest mote, like Bubble Boy, uh, you know, people with immune system deficiency where they have to be kept in a sterile bubble or a sterile room, presumably they would be around 25%, 30%. I'm just guessing. I mean, I'm I'm no immunologist, but I mean, presumably it would be fairly high, because it's not perfectly sterile. So 0% would be like dead. Like, look at you wrong and you're toast. Okay. So 75% is not, I mean, like, this is like drink a Coke and go puke because you're instantly infested with, just 25%. I mean, where do you get it sounds, ugh. Okay, so 25%, super, super, super high. Um, I can't even remember the order of my three things anymore. It's just, the, it, what it comes down to is it's fear mongering. That's what it is. It's fear mongering. Ridiculous truths pulled out of somebody's ass, not backed by any sort of study that you could even pretend is real. It's not even like this guy gathered up his neighbors and gave them sugar and one of them coughed. No, it's a number that's pulled out of somebody's butt. Okay, it's an absolute fictitious number. It's built that 25% to most people sounds fairly small. Doesn't it? I mean, that's two coin flips. When you think about it that way, okay. But 25% to most people, like 25%, savings, a sale, 25% off sale. Like that's okay, yeah, that's a pretty good sale, but it's not a 70% sale. It's not a, some sort of blowout sale. You see 25% sales all the time. So 25% kind of hits that range to normal people that sounds good because if you say a 5% drop, people are going, well, 5%, my Coke, yeah, but 25% sounds good to most people, I would wager. And so this is a number that somebody has deliberately pulled up. 25%, oh, it's good, it's round, it's rememberable, it's nice and it gets into your head. And then we're going to equate that with let's see, what's on the list for today? Oh, sugar. Sugar's the bad thing today. Let's blame it on sugar. It's just it, it's nonsense. It's pseudoscience, faked out bullshit that some numbers that people are throwing together and putting on a billboard, and trying to scare people into into changing their diets when they don't need to. Kind of like multivitamins. Oh, you need to take all these vitamins. You're deficient. You're deficient. Well, most people aren't deficient. And if you are deficient, yes, it's very good to go get a vitamin. But that's something that you can go to the doctor and get a blood test and figure out if you need to take vitamins. Otherwise, you don't need to be paying for this. It just really ticks me off. And the entire time that I'm hearing this, I've got I got Will Wheaton on this side and Phil Plait on this side going, "Don't be a dick, don't be a dick, don't be a dick, Ben, don't be a dick." It's just it takes an enormous amount of self restraint to hear this. It's fear mongering. Okay, it's made up. It's worse than it's worse than the snake oil salesman of the old west. It's worse than that because they were going, well, look, you have this disease, let us treat it. Okay, that's still wrong. But today are these alternative medicine people are instilling a fear in someone so that they can sell their product. It's gone beyond that. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong, and it just it pisses me off to see people falling into these traps. And I don't know if it's our educational system or anything like this, and it may well be, but the fact that people still fall for this in the 21st century, we're in 2010, we're in the future, you know, we're in the future, and people still fall for these dumb these dumb tricks of these fear-mongering marauders, and it really it hurts. It's less of me being pissed off at I'm pissed off at the people who are doing this, but for the people that fall for it, my heart is just torn in two to see people do this. And I consider myself really, really lucky to have gotten the education that I was privileged to receive. And I really wish that more people could just receive a basic education about these things. I think we'd be better off as a culture, as a country, as a species if we could finally get over this. But I mean, it's built into human psychology to want to rip others off and to fall for scaremongering tactics. I mean, it's evolutionarily prudent to be afraid of things. So I guess it's human nature. I hope that one day we overcome it. I don't think we will ever overcome it completely, but hopefully we can get closer than we are today. All right, well, that's my rant for today. Look forward to those two videos. I'm going to try to upload them tonight.